Alright. Welcome back to another installment of What I Know. Today, I'm gonna chat about 3-4, or rather 3 brush 4. The input of said move, if you're really new, is done by hitting one button and then the other button, so a brush stroke is what at least I refer to this as, a brush input. One button, then the other button. Not simultaneously, because otherwise you get this. So it's not 3 plus 4, it's 3 brush 4. So it's gonna be one after another really quickly, so dead up. So if you listen really closely, you can hear my stick go. But you have to be kind of swift about it. Yeah? So, we're chatting about 3 brush 4. It's about I-17 startup. We're gonna chat about properties as always first. It's about I-17 startup, and the reason why I say about is because the startup frames don't really account for the input of the move. So it's maybe, I would treat it, I personally treat it as it being a little slower than I-17. Because if Yoshi, so CD1 from Yoshi is minus 17, right? It's also, coincidentally enough, 17 frame startup. And you can buffer this and punish this properly on block because Yoshi doesn't have a wave dash input. So even though his crouch dash input should by default add like 4 extra frames, even if done perfectly, 4 or 3 to the I-17 startup, you can buffer it during the block stun. Yeah, which is not something you can do with 3 brush 4. So I don't think I'd ever be able to block punish this with 3 brush 4. Because I need that single frame of 3 before the 4 for this to come out. If I do it too quick, I get some other shit. Yeah, so it's I-17, but consider it a little slower. Maybe I-18, I-19. So it's a slow move. It's mid-mid. It has some tracking to the left, which is Yoshi's strong side. And it got nerfed in Season 2. It used to track a little bit to the right as well. But that got nerfed. Still tracks a little bit. Not too bad. 2 mid hits. 28 damage. Pretty good. Leaves you at +3. It's alright. Not so bad. Doesn't mean you get advantage in sort of in terms of the frames, but like, you know, Yoshi doesn't really have a lot of stuff to back up his plus frames. It has really long range. So 1, 2, 3. I can hit him with the second hit from range 3. So the ideal range for this is around range 2, because even if they backdash, it'll still catch them. Yeah. So the last thing you want to do just in general is when you use ranged moves that are slow, is use them at a range where if your opponent like does even like a 1 backdash or 2 quick ones, that will cause you to whiff. Just because then that means they baited your ass and it'll launch you, send you airborne. So it's a range 3-ish move, and it leaves you right in their face, and it's around -5 on block, -6. Hey CF, I am single. I'll have to see your credentials first before I say one way or another. How you doing, man? It's good to see you. Talking about 3 brush 4 today. I'm on the properties part, right in the beginning. You're not a dancer? Gonna have to subtract points. Are you a musician at least? That's almost as good as being a dancer. So it's -6 on block, so it's safe, which is nice. And it's not mega minus. Like, -6 is pretty, like, your turn is basically over, but we're Yoshimitsu, so screw your frames. We got a lot of stuff. I can play guitar and keyboard very badly. What are we talking about? 3 brush 4. 3 brush 4. Just the move. It's good to see you, man. Yeah, 3. What do you call that? The squiggly line again? Is it ampersand? Tilde? What's up, no one? Tilde? What's an ampersand then? How the hell did I get that? How you doing, man? You guys have any stories for me today? That's an ampersand. Okay. Thank you, thank you. Anyway. So -6. It's not the end of the world. Still not nice to have. Like if it were a king forward 1 situation where it was like -4 or -3 on block, that'd be pretty good. But we're not. It leaves you right in their face in both instances of on hit and on block. So, some strengths of this move. It's really long. It's a really long range move. Remember, Yoshi frames are bad on purpose. Exactly. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in another talk. But it's a really long range move. It's mid. And it's safe on block while being plus on hit. That's really nice. And it also has a stance transition if you hold up. So if you look at my input history, that up at the end, if I don't put that up there, I get a regular 3-4. If I transition into Dragonfly, which is what this stance is, by holding up, it's even more plus on hit. But we'll go into that later. So, that being said, some weaknesses. It is hella slow. I-17 on paper, but more actually closer to I-18, I-19. You can get floated out of this, and the stance mix-up at quote-unquote higher levels isn't really feasible to do. Like it's not something you're gonna use on someone who knows what they're doing and go into Dragonfly on block and just throw it out willy-nilly because you're gonna get launched. Yes, you can get counter out of the initial animation. It does low crush, so this move can be kind of useful in specific situations, like against Elisa down 3, like the one where she slides down. But I wouldn't recommend it. You can get counter hit out of that shit. And it leaving you in the opponent's face is a plus as well. The reason why. So Tekken 7, the movement in Tekken 7 isn't the best. Like, you can do a lot of crazy shit, and even characters who quote-unquote don't have good movement, like Gigas or Eddie, or Eddie's more like sideways movement, but Gigas, Marduk, all that shit, big-bodied characters, they can still move around stuff. But even the best characters, like, movement in this game is not something you can really rely on to win a game. So it makes things like closing in on people in the neutral kind of risky, and some characters have the option, like Yoshi does, to cover his entry with a 3-brush 4. Because instead of forward dashing, which would eat up a lot of my frames, or just would take a lot of time to do, and they can just kind of jab me out of that. What I can do instead is get within a certain range and 3-brush 4 and be in their face. And it has this meta mix-up that can make it scary to press on block or on hit, and which I'll go over in a second. So its use and strong situations to use this move in is when you need to get in on the opponent's in the neutral, and they're backdashing, and they're not sidestepping, and they're using keep out, because the timing of 3-brush 4 at this range will be quicker than when they would wait to use their keep out move, and that, at least in my opinion, and this is all subject to change depending on who you're playing against and the way they shift their timing. But the timing of me dashing in and hitting a button is different from me dashing in from at this distance and just going through brush 4. At best, you get +3. I don't know, actually, if the last hit counter hits, is it more plus on hit? No, it's the same. Just does more damage. So, at best, you get on hit, or you stuff them, or you hit them kind of moving at the wrong time, you get +3. Or, it's on block and you're -6, which isn't too bad. And I'll explain that in a second. Yeah, it closes the distance. So, what's helpful about this move? Do you think you can hit confirm for DGF? I don't think so. You would have to hit him with the first hit. I only hit confirm if I'm using it as like a whip punish into DGF. Yeah, it's much more of a risk. And like you don't get too much out of it even if you do. You know what I mean? You're just like +9 in a situation where it's not too risky for the opponent. So, and you can risk getting floated. Anyway. See, through brush 4. So, the reason why it's good at this distance rather than at this one is because at this distance, you're in range of everything, and fast moves are preferred to be used in this situations because they don't have to worry about the range. So you can get counter hit out of this move if you're just using this shit up close. The range complements this because even if they were to move in on me at this range, that would cover the timing of how long it takes for me to use for the startup of 3 brush 4. Now, so it's, in my opinion, a neutral tool to use if you want to get into the opponent's face. So this move is kind of the opposite of forward 1+2, in my opinion. That's the role that this, like, this is a neutral reset where you get a hard ass knockdown, and it's kind of, it can be used as keep out or like a safe neutral poke. This one is like, I'm in your face and I want you to do something about it. Yeah, I'm gonna go over that because that is sort of part and parcel of this move, CF. So, this is the in-your-face version of 4-1+2. Now, -6 is basically turnover for most characters. But, we're playing Yoshimitsu, and he ain't gonna play no games. So, the reason why is he has, in particular, 4 options that can really spice things up. 3-4 on block into either flash, kin parry, duck, or spin. Those are the main 4. So, into flash, kin parry, duck, or spin. And there is the more common answer, which is 3-4. If you're a solid, safe player, is just holding back after that on block to see what they do, or just 4 dashing in their face to like apply pressure. Now, let's record these real quick and see what these things beat. Alright, so let's go over the kin parry one first, because it's kind of I don't want to say the safest option, but it's a more safer option than flash. Because if it fucks up, you can at least throw a move out. So you're at -6 on block after this move, right? Kin parry startup is I2 to I9, if I recall correctly. What's up, Actius?
Assembly of crew.
Thanks for the follow, man. It's good to see you. How you doing? I'm just explaining a move real quick before I get online. So, Kin parry is I2 to I9 startup frames. And I'm at -6 on block. So, if we do our math, anything from I8 to I15, Kin parry will parry. Anything from I8 to I15, Kin parry will parry. But if I do something slower, I'll get clipped out of this. This is by the way, is I17 down forward 3. And same with back 1. So that's what that option beats, which is everything between a jab, which is I10, a magic 4, a down forward 4. Magic 4s can be anywhere from I11 to I12 or I13, and down forward 4s are similar. A down forward 1, which is -13 or I13, or generic down forward 2, which is I15. Generic ones. So, also watch out, Kin parry does not parry swords or knees or shoulders. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, yeah, it's a pretty sick option. Now the reason why this option is good is because one, it's safe, because even if your opponent doesn't swing, you can do something out of Kin to still like make yourself kind of safe. The safer option tends to be Kin forward 2, Kin back, the new move Kin back 2, or Kin 1+2 into like the block punish mix-up. Now, the reason why this is good, aside from that, is the Kin parry is +4 on block, and Yoshi is how should I say? Wait, why did my music just cut? That was weird. Hold up. Run that back. YouTube's freaking out, huh? One sec, champs. There we go. So, Yoshi is really lacking in the plus-on block mid department. He does not have plus-on block mids that are easily accessible, or reliable to use. And Kin parry helps out kind of in that regard. So it gives you +4 on block, and if they don't, if you Kin parry them and you land that, it gives you a free CD1, which will give you a flop, which is good Oki to run up into whatever the heck. So that's option 1. Option 2, Flash. So Flash is I6 in one sword stance, which is generally when you would use this. This specific setup in particular. Dude, pancake flip is Craigasm for sure. I'm using Twitch emotes in my vocabulary. So, turning into Brawl Pro, can't say his name. Erge. So, it's I6, and once again I'm at -6 on block. Rather, me as Yoshi if I'm the red one. So that means Flash will beat out anything from I12 to, I believe, I15 and maybe 16 and 17? Yes, that's 17. Do I have anything slower than that? I 3-rush 4? That's a little too slow. What about my standing 4? No, that's 15. But yeah, so give or take from I-12 to I-17, it'll beat out. Now, the reason why this is good is if you think that the opponent will do something slower than a jab to contest, because you get an obviously bigger reward for guessing correctly in this case. You get a full ass launch. And in this game, that also typically means carrying them to the wall or wall pressure in general. Which is hella good because that's where Yoshi shines the most. So, is that all I have to say about the Flash? Yeah. So, the next one we'll do, which one is this one? Because I want to save the duck one for last. Yeah, spin. I don't use this one in particular, just mainly because I typically don't think about it. So you can do this. Yeah? And it's pretty hard to hit Yoshi when he does this, because, and we'll go over a spin in a different section on its own, because it's a pretty unique move. So that's an option. It's really evasive. It's pretty safe. The only issue is that if the opponent reads this, you can get launched for it. Same with Flash. And even then, it's like kind of wonky. So, the duck. Duck is nice. It can lead in some meta situations. And the reason why, because even though duck only really beats high options are typically the most common thing that players pick in this game against 3-4 on block at my level, whatever that means. So most people will jab, and if you get down forward if you get hit with a down forward 1, you just lose like 14 damage. It's not too bad for the risk. The reason why this is cool is because you can do something like I didn't do that right. That, where you get just a little bit of you just do a really quick twitch duck and you get punished because the opponent threw out a jab and they got crushed, and then you did a hop kick. That's a pretty good one. What you can also do that was weird. Is do the same thing. You can use NSS Flash to whiff punish jabs pretty reliably, and also you can usually react to it too, which is nice. Oof. I'm not getting the right input today. Put my sword away first. Is that the right one? Yes, sir. That one is generally more guaranteed to work if they do a single jab, because there are situations where your opponent is really safe and clean on their execution, so they won't spam like a jab string. They'll literally do one hit and they'll hold back. And jabs are in general really hard to whiff punish. So the NSS Flash works because it's I-8 and it's wicked fast. So those are kind of the mix-up options off of 3-4, and this is a meta thing where you have to gauge your opponent's reaction to 3-4 on block and on hit, but you don't always have to do something like that. You can just hold back, that's fine. You can sidestep block, that's fine. Although it is pretty risky with Yoshi's step at -6. You can 3-4, and if you think that they're gonna respect it, you can just continue doing something. You can 3-4 into down 4 because that high crushes jab, so that's also a safe option to do. It's, you know, pick your poison on this one. And those are just some classic uses of 3-4. And it's commonly used in the neutral where the slowness of the move is made up for in spacing, and when you feel like you need to get in on your opponent and you don't think that they'll sidestep. The don't think that they'll sidestep is an important bit. Because if they sidestep this move, bro, you're gonna get smashed. Yeah. It does track to his left a little bit, but if the opponent knows Yoshi stuff, they're gonna be sidestepping left anyway. So it's a slow move. Don't do it if your opponent is obviously sidestepping left in the neutral. They're doing sidestep left block, sidestep left block. Like, don't just throw that out willy-nilly because you can get smashed for that. You can change your timing and use the threat of this as a way to just dash in for free and down 4. So it's synergistic with some options that you can do, which is just dash in, down, low poke, dash in, grab, dash in, rock in 3+4, dash in, low poke. I think I might have said that one already. Or just, if they're ANSI players, you can dash in their face and then wait, and they'll whiff or backdash, whatever. So it's a good move. It's a really solid move. It's up there with one of his best, especially because it's just really annoying to deal with. Just super annoying to deal with. So take it into practice if you haven't yet, and figure out how it feels to use. Figure out the spacing you want to use it at. That's ideal, that they can't backdash out from it. Get a handle for what your follow-up options are and can beat. And in some cases, you can just 3-4, 3-4, and immediately into up forward 3, because up forward 3, if you look at Yoshi, he like ducks a little bit on the first couple frames. It doesn't high crush, it's just evasive. The difference being, if it's high crush like a crouch, that means anything that's classified as a high will not hit it. If it's evasive, that means anything, it has potential to evade certain kinds of attacks with certain hitboxes. Some characters have really good jab hitboxes, so this won't work on characters like Devil Jin or Kazuya, who have really good hitboxes on their jabs. What's up? What's that name? Let me click this real quick. I saw an L. Ludi. What's up, Ludi? You're from the Discord, right? How's it going, man? But against Yoshi, since his jabs have really stubby range, he can just mash this one out. And there are other characters who have bad jabs like this too. So it's just something to experiment with. See, my one jab will hit him, but because his 2 jab is stubby, it goes right over his head. What's up, Ducky? So it's something to keep in mind. Use this move. Don't overuse this move, but use this move. It's a good freaking move. Is that it? Yeah, that's the main stuff. If I remember anything else that I've forgotten, I'll add it in later. 3-4 flash, yes I did. Alright, I think we're gonna wrap it there. I'm gonna play some online. Okay guys, cut.